All right. Sweet.
Awesome.
I'm so glad that you were willing to just chat a little bit about these things. So, what should we call this live? Sharing transformation?
Sure.
It's pretty transformative. Okay, let's see. I can't spell. Oh, I forgot the S. Okay. Sweet. just letting the text do its thing. All right, I think it's working. So I have with me the beautiful Wendy. I don't know where she is on your screen. It's one of these directions. And she wanted to share and discuss a little bit of some of our adventures over the last year, but then specifically the retreat that we just went on. So yeah, I don't know what you want to start with, but I'm excited to connect with you and share.
Exactly. Like, where's this going to lead, right? Perhaps starting with the benefits or how Pure Grace community has changed me, because I think then that leads into the retreat and then the epicness of that as a result of all of us finally coming together and meeting, right? So let's see, I've been in Pure Grace community, what, a year and a half now?
Yeah,
Something like that. I think, yeah, it has been.
Several books.
Yeah, several. Yeah, several. Several life-changing books, right? So in the community, like a year and a half, probably a mentor for the past year-ish or so after we got through Revive Your Essence, but just wanted to share like what a powerful connection that is that we have at least every week, sometime and monthly. Then we also have the meetings where we are being mentored personally, but the Monday meetings and the books that we read are, I mean, life-changing. How I view the world, how I view myself, how I view other people, relationships, other beings, whether they be four-legged or two-legged, or growing out of the earth, right? Those beings as well. And how that has impacted even my daily routines, my daily, rituals based on the discussions that we've had within Pure Grace community in that smaller collective group.
Yeah, and I would like it if you would share what you shared with me privately about the reading out loud, how that has touched you.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like being read to when we meet on Monday nights and we're reviewing a book. Right now we're doing Braiding Sweetgrass. I have the Sweetgrass, I just don't have the book, but I have the Sweetgrass here. Yeah. If I happen to miss a call, or even like during the call, we take turns reading the book like from cover to cover together, and then we stop and do discussions. And I just love closing my eyes and being read to, if I'm watching the recording, like just listening, or even sometimes when we are in the group and we're taking turns reading, it's like being read as a child, right? And putting yourself, being put to bed either by your mother or whoever that significant other might have been, and if they read to you. And it's such a nurturing and nourishing feeling to be read to. We don't do that as adults.
Yeah, I just thought that was really precious when you shared that, because I was like, well, we could get more done if we, do our pull our Ayurveda card and talk about our brags and gems and like do all these other things. We could get more done, just like that very
do more.
Very patriarchal mindset. And you're like, whoa, reading out loud is so nurturing. And since then, because we shine the light of awareness on that, I feel more nurtured every time we read too, just by really receiving it on a deeper level into my heart. So thank you for bringing that up to me and sharing it.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. And it's interesting how even as we read, sometimes we cry, right? And we have a remembering or something really touches our heart, and how we all can like hold space for each other during that period. Or it's pretty powerful. It's powerful, to read out loud, but also then to be the listener and, and receive. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
all the books that we've done, there's always something that we can apply in our lives, like right away. Like there was a recipe last night with squash leaves that I was like, sweet. Or the flowers. I like to eat squash flowers. Some of you might know this.
Oh,
I ask people permission all the time to pick and eat their squash flowers, but apparently you can fry them. I had no idea. So anyway,
there you go.
gems. There's always gems in there. And synchronicities in the group. The energy of the vortex is just really fascinating. How aligned we all are. And we're so different, and we're in different places. So that's really cool.
And some of us still have not met in person.
It's true.
So even without having that physical, like in the moment connection, we still have this deeper and richer, and the synchronicities, although we've not all been in the same room at the same time, which is pretty powerful.
I'm so happy to hear how the community blesses you. And yeah, I'm excited to see how we evolve together. And it really was because we had this sweet group of souls meeting on Mondays. To really, the focus is to continue to evolve our Ayurveda habits, our self-care, to continue to evolve spiritually, and then divine feminine leadership. Those are kind of the main focuses for that group. The group asked, and also I really wanted to bring everyone together, and thus the retreat was born.
Right.
I don't know. I know you want to share some about that. Yeah, one of the members in our group connected me with an Ayurvedic practitioner, and so we decided to collaborate. That's Elaine Dahl, and run this retreat, even though we had never met in person, and it was really beautiful.
It was, yes, it was a beautiful retreat. And again, I think we've learned many things through our period of isolation. I'd like to say post-pandemic, but I'm not sure that we're there yet. That you can do a lot of things virtually, and indeed have deep connections in that way. The way that you and Elaine did for the retreat, and that you planned this retreat, and it was amazing, yet you had not been in the same room until the time of the retreat, to really get to know each other on a physical level per se. So
yeah, it was a really beautiful collaboration. We just totally blended and melded together, and we had so much structure set up. So much of the masculine was set up, right, with the structure, that then during the retreat, as the leaders or facilitators, we really felt like we could flow in the divine feminine and really honor whatever was arising energetically, which was just so freeing and affirming and magical, really magical. But yeah, I'd love to hear what your favorite parts are, because I think for each of us, there's probably different core memories from the retreat. So yeah.
Core memories, favorite part. Well, first of all, getting to hug everybody in person and like meet them, and that connection was amazing. As far as like specific experiences outside of that, like the nature that we saw, or the animals, we saw a moose. I saw a moose twice. He came and saw me the next morning as well, which was like, wow. We saw a bear. We saw deer, and we were on this small piece of property in comparison. Like it's not a large space, however, and remote, which was lovely to unplug a lot. And just the whole, that stream, river, whatever we want to call it, running through was so magical to have that element there to cleanse in, to release in, put our feet, our bodies, whatever we wanted, our hands, whatever we wanted, and just letting the water do its thing on our body. So that was, the river was definitely one of the more powerful memories. And, you know, really the elements in general, like fire, starting a fire with one of the other members, Jen, in the mornings up in the yoga room and sitting on this furry mat and like connecting and drinking our coffee or hot water with a fire going. Or I missed the whole fire dancing. Sorry, Neva is already in bed. But again, the element, you know, of fire, there was just so much of it. And we had beautiful weather. And getting up at 2 a.m. because using the bathroom like up by the main house, like I didn't want to go back to bed, because when they say big sky, like they're not kidding, right? Like the stars and just the massiveness, like just standing out there in the middle of the night. And so from that perspective, those things in nature. And then I guess another powerful memory or experience would have been giving and receiving Ayurvedic treatments each day from each other, and having sometimes the same partner, sometimes a different partner, depending on what we were doing. But learning all, and I did not know some of these practices and these from Ayurveda that you could do. And so, yeah, it was giving and receiving.
Yeah,
right? And being open to both.
That for me was so amazing, to be able to empower everyone to be the healer, right? Because of course everyone wants a treatment. Like, who doesn't want a massage? We all want massage, like, you know, but to empower each of you to step into your mastery and into your divine feminine and into your intuition and your psychic abilities, and give and listen and feel and be so acutely present in this like space with the other person, and to feel their energy. And some of these treatments I've never had done. I don't even know people that offer these treatments in, like, even in Ayurvedic centers. Like, I owned a center, or I shared ownership with a center for years, and we only did Abhyanga and Sharadara. We didn't do Lepas. We didn't do Heart Basti. Like, it was just really, that for me, that was so magical. I was like, what a crazy, amazing, unique opportunity to be able to learn how to do it and then do it right away, give that to someone else. And I'm so grateful that I was able to also receive and give, that worked out, because wow, so powerful.
It was, right? It was. And we all had our moments. We all had a time where we needed to step away with ease and grace, and everyone held the space, and to go off and do our own thing, whether it was journal, put our feet in the water, go to bed, lay on the ground, whatever it was, to release, right, whatever was brought up. Was incredible to watch that happen, and each of us hold each other during that time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And that was something I did, want to share, especially for anyone watching this that doesn't know what Ayurveda is, right? There's all these healing treatments and different things that go deep. They go deep emotionally, they go deep physically, and they do bring up stuff. So when Wendy's like, the water was so important, like, yes, seeing the animals, being in nature, looking at the stars, that was intentional, so that there was a nurturing space to process the stuff that's coming up during those treatments. Yeah. Just to clarify for anyone.
Yeah, no, good point. Yeah, good point. And we also had the opportunity to do experiences with the masters, either yourself or Lainey or Elaine, doing, some best treatments and stuff, but specifically, like, we did some Egyptian healing, and, we did other things where we could connect with the master, in this case, you and Lainey, from those realms, and have therapies and treatments, either having other people in the room loving us and supporting us during that, or whether it be solo, and those were powerful, as well. So to have those opportunities, and man, I realized a lot of healing can happen in a week.
Yeah. Lots of healing and remembering, and more layers to release of core wounds. And yeah. I'm glad
It's
you brought
incredible.
I'm glad you brought in the Vesa quantum healing, because that was also very magical, to be able to offer those, and to have just, I think having those pyramids and rods in the room, like, kind of amplified everything.
Yeah, like sitting up on the altar, because we had built an altar at the beginning of the week, and we could put offerings or whatever we wanted up there to get charged during that period. So they were always in the yoga room.
Yeah. And do you want to share anything about the food or eating?
Oh yeah. Okay. So then we had a plant-based chef. Thank you, Margot, who was, well, first of all, an incredible human.
Super fun.
So much fun. Yeah, so much fun and crazy. And but her food was like over the top, and she cooked Ayurvedic every meal, and she used, Kate O'Donnell's cookbook as a lifting board, she said, or something like that. Like, yeah, and then I did my own thing. Like I started there and just went on. It was outstanding. Yeah,
And
I
so
cannot say enough.
colorful. She really
Colorful,
did
flavorful. Yeah.
all the tastes, all the colors, all the different textures. I mean, I was just amazed. I was like, oh my gosh, woman, like this food is delicious. And we ate it slowly and mindfully together as a bunch of women. It was so wonderful to be a part of, and to watch, one person put their fork down. So then everybody put their fork down.
Yeah, put my fork down. Take a breath, right? Or bless our food, right? We all, in the evening, we all blessed our food together. Otherwise, we did it, individually at the other meals. But
yeah, and that was so nice, singing over the food in the blessing. Yeah, I just thought that was really precious. The eating. It's definitely one of the things that stuck out to me, and something that I was able to bring back, is just eating more slowly and mindfully, and putting the fork down, which makes a huge difference for digestion, and chewing the food more, right?
Yes. And then how she would make us tea or golden milk at night. Like it just was so nurturing at night, having that warm drink available if you wanted it, right? And just like savoring that and sitting with your, your warm mug in the evenings. Yeah. Margot thought of everything and planned things well, and made all the difference in the retreat.
Yeah, there was a lot of really beautiful, like, mothering and sistering during the retreat, like in conversations, just, during things and outside of activities. Just a lot of nurturance overall, I felt like, which was needed because we were going so deep during our sessions.
Yeah. And we had every age group. We had us crones there, and we also had, the 30 and 40-year-olds. So we kind of covered the whole spectrum between mid 30s and almost 70, right? We all were within that realm, which was nice, having the different life experiences brought to the circle.
Yeah, totally. I think it was, I don't remember when it was it during the art class or maybe after the gua sha? There was a point where I was sitting with different, I think you might have been in a treatment, but there was different seasoned wise ladies there, and then us young girls, and we were talking about our mothers and parenting, and like that, just being able to have that type of conversation with other open-hearted, open-minded, spiritual women, and then to be able to cry or to give each other hugs and hold the space. That was a very precious memory for me, just talking about, life, the things that matter. our relationships. Yeah.
Definitely. Probably one of the other memories was being so giddy when we did the rose
Face
masks.
masks. Yeah.
Yeah, doing the face mask, like we all had this stuff on our face and just being silly and giggling and like at a slumber party, right? Like at a
Yeah,
slumber
we
party.
all reverted to our 12-year-old selves and we're at a slumber party. That was wonderful.
But yeah, I mean, we could go on and on, right? There were so many of those little precious moments that were captured, right? And we also had periods of silence, like when we did the forest bathing, no talking until we saw the moose, and Becky had to warn us, there might be a mother around, be careful, right? But no talking during forest bathing. And we did do a silent meal, believe it or not. That was interesting. One meal, no talking.
Super interesting. I loved it.
So yeah. And it was being involved in the Pure Grace community that led me to be ready to receive that experience, like the nurturing and the evolution of myself through being in the community for a year and a half, then allowed me to have that space in my life, in my head, more than anything, right? To be open to what was happening in that realm.
That makes sense. So you would, if you were talking to someone, you would advise them, join the community if you want to go on next year.
Right. Now, there were people there who have not been intimately involved in community. They had their own powerful experiences in a different way. This is just my experience. So it doesn't exclude you, I guess, either from doing retreats with us in the future, because they are powerful. No matter where you're coming from, it would be a benefit, is how I perceive the situation.
Yeah. So I guess in like closing, from before the retreat to after the retreat, like, yeah, what was your transformation? Like, who are you then and who do you feel like you are now? Or like, what was that evolution for you?
And that re-entry was interesting.
The real world. I know. It goes so fast, right? The real world is so fast.
I think that's it, slowing down. And many times throughout the day, like I'll hear myself walking, whether I'm like walking through the condo or walking outside. I'm like, oh, wait, soft step. My feet kiss the earth. Slow down. Whoa. My feet kiss the earth, right? I don't have to. And so it's that whole slowing down, not having to engage in everything. What is important? What is going to move me forward on my journey? And being more discerning, right, about my engagement online, in person, personally. What is it that I need to move forward so that we can be these workers, right? These shining lights that help other on their journey, in a good way, feeding ourselves so that we can be there for others and help the collective, right?
Yeah. So what I'm partially hearing is that you feel more empowered as a leader. Is that, yeah. And then more aware of yourself in time and space.
Yeah. In time and
slowing
space.
down, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Finding that breath, right? Just, oh, there it is.
Those are powerful. Yeah. Really beautiful.
Right. And looking for the joy, right? Looking for the joy and the divine love in the small moments, because those are the big moments, actually.
Yeah. Your essence does seem more integrated to me, or a little like, I don't want to say slower because it sounds kind of weird, but like more present. Like, yeah, it's really cool to see.
Each of our transformations was different too. That's the interesting thing.
Oh yeah. well, whatever we needed is what we received. Yeah, mine was definitely different. So yeah, it was very empowering. The whole thing was empowering and really affirming on a collaborating with other women. And wow, like I don't ever want to run a retreat by myself. It's so much more easeful and joyful and fun to share that with someone else or multiple people. So that was a pretty cool learning for me.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to the next one. Whatever that might be, right? Whatever that might be.
Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna do that again, because it was, I mean, we can grow and learn and do a lot on our own or in online communities or in coaching programs even, but when you are in person with people, it's like
It's
yes.
magnetized, right? It's just magnetized, like it's amplified that much larger, and in such a great and beautiful way.
I'm so glad that you were able to come and be part of that beautiful energy and co-create with us.
It was a beautiful experience, right? A once in a lifetime. Thank you. Thanks to you and Lainey both for giving us and giving the space, right? Holding that sacred, safe container, right? So that we could feel that nurturing, so that we each could grow and receive in our own way, whatever it is that we needed at that time.
You are so deeply welcome. And thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Everyone here. So,
well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate going live with you. It's always a treat. So thank you.
Yeah. And if anyone has any questions for either of us, you can just comment and we will comment back.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening to everybody. Yeah. Everybody that got on. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.